All right. Here we are with another edition of From the Margins with my dear friend Jimmy Auffant. We missed last week. We're right back. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, Jimmy. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Just came back from a hearing, and everything is hunky dory. And for the practical effect, the week is over, so I'm ready to
Excellent.
rumble.
Awesome. First of all, any special appearances that you're making over the weekend or into next week, Jimmy, on any of the local media?
I might be in Telemundo on Tuesday after uh, the State of the Union, and I'm going to be in this great podcast live after which is you can see us live, and I'm not going to be alone. I
Yes.
understand there's going to be more than one person giving their opinion as to the State of the Union, and I have a bet for anybody who is willing to take it. I'll bet you $20 that President Trump cannot stay our message. He's going to go here. He's going to go there. He's going to go there everywhere, and and say and stick to his two C's.
And Jimmy, I'd love to take a wager like that. If it was Friday, I may take that wager. But however, it's Donald J. Trump, and we know that the man can go in any direction. So I'm not gonna take that wager. That's that's a little bit too much. That's too much right now. So
Okay,
so Jimmy, what's going on with this partial shutdown?
very little. Uh, since it doesn't affect the whole government, and since most Americans don't care about the government, so as a matter of fact, everybody was applauding when they were going to fire a bunch of people, and they fired a bunch of people, and everybody was okay with that. Uh, the, the conservatives are they want to put the size of government small enough that they can flush it down the toilet. That's been said by conservatives. So the majority of the people are not really saying anything because right now TSA is still working, ICE is still working, the Border Patrol is still working. FEMA has never worked, so it's nobody knows the difference. FEMA has not worked for any emergency since Donald Trump has become president, so nobody's noticed any problem there or difference. And since there hasn't been a hurricane or any reason for FEMA to be out there, nobody knows that FEMA's not being funded currently. Uh, Most Americans really don't care. What's going to happen is once they start seeing that TSA and the traffic controls start affecting flights, then the business world, which controls the airlines, it's not really us common citizens, will then start making an issue. But realistically, I don't foresee that anything. As you know, currently they're on vacation, so I don't
Right.
expect that to affect that. Most people, that's not what's discussed. People care about the Epstein files, they care about affordability, and that's it. The rest of the government, they don't care. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised that it's very few. It's been discussed about Prince Andrew being arrested for the Epstein files, and I'm not sure what the British have been able to find on him to be able to charge him. It's kind of interesting because for them to have jurisdiction over the matter, you had to take these young ladies to England. If you did it outside of England, really, they don't have any jurisdiction
True.
uh, unless you use funds from the government to do this, which would be another issue for another day. But realistically, it's kind of interesting. In Europe, they're arresting people for the Epstein files. Here, everybody's okay. They want to talk to the Clintons about it, but nobody wants to talk to Donald Trump about it. And we both know that they were both friends of Epstein's. I'm not saying that Clinton wasn't, but don't try to pretend that Donald Trump was not a friend of. But the American people don't care about this partial shutdown. If it was the whole government, maybe. But I think here the Democrats were smart about one thing. We're going to take the agency that everybody does not like. We're going to take the stand on something that all Americans agree that ICE is out of control. We're going to try to bring it into control, and most
Right.
Americans agree on that one, except the MAGAs who really think that it's okay to arrest people with no warrants and if they're foreigners, then just put them in jail.
Jimmy, do you think that how should I say this? That the Democrats were hoping for a moment that they had with the government shutdown, the record government shutdown over healthcare, over Obamacare, that they would get the attention that they needed to make healthcare affordability a top of the hour conversation among Americans? Are they were they hoping for the similar effect with this partial shutdown of the government, the partial shutdown of DHS?
No, I don't think it was a similar. Most Americans who do receive what people commonly call Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, Health Care Act, they know what's happening. They know who's responsible, and this is one of the things that's going to cost Republicans deeply, deeply in this upcoming election, which I predict today on February 19, 2026, that the Republicans will lose the House significantly. It's not going to be by 2 or 3 votes. Even though I know that the Florida legislator may redistrict Florida, and the Supreme Court will be the rubber stamp for President Trump and allow it, like it did with Texas, and say it's okay, and basically that will be the thing. California will do their thing, Illinois will do their things, New York, and when all those states do their things, it's going to be a 1 or 2 thing difference. What nobody's looking at is that there's more than 50 people who have retired, which leaves an opening for new people to come in. You have right now in Texas a U.S. senator that is losing to a corrupt person because the Republicans have no problem with corruption. They love it, so they're gonna let somebody who was reprimanded, okay, who was impeached by the House of Representatives in Texas and was Marley by 1 vote, was not impeached in the Senate, is right now leading a senator of the state of Texas who's represented Texas for the last 18 years and is saying, yes, we're going to go. So I'm not sure if people are realizing that even when they try to make these pro-Republican districts and Democratic districts, that the factor is not Republicans, it is the independents. And the independents are really angry with the current administration. And if they vote massively, yes, I will predict that the House of Representatives, the Democrats, will control by at least 20 to 25 votes. That's a bold thing.
Well, that is a bold statement and a bold bet, and I took you up on that wager. I don't think that the Democrats will be as effective in winning.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I'm not counting on the Democrats.
Oh,
no. I know they have a great campaign manager in Donald J. Trump.
that's true. Yes.
But right now, all these people, look, right now, you're looking at people who are quitting, at people who might come in, at people who might even be different. So when people tell me, do I think that the Democrats are well organized enough to get this election? No. I'm not counting on them.
Oh.
I'm counting on the fuck up of the Republicans to get people elected.
Okay.
I'm counting on people who can be proven to be corrupt and to be cruel and to be bullies to come up and do this. Look, now we have to accept that Donald Trump's popularity is on the floor. Republican popularity is on the floor. The only people supporting Republicans right now are the MAGAs, because even true conservatives are not that happy with them. And they might, and this is what I'm thinking. What happened to Kamala is that the Democrats stayed home. We know that. I'm
Okay.
concerned how many Republicans are going to stay home. Right now, the other thing that nobody's talking about is what got out of the votes the last time, and this is a factor that we call was the Donald J. Trump coattail because he was on the ballot. He's not
Correct.
going to be in the ballot in 26. Nowhere is he going to appear. So people are not going out to vote for Donald J. Trump because he's not there. And are they as fanatical about their state senators and their U.S. representatives? I don't think so. So the
Yeah.
MAGAs might say, Trump could take care of it. I don't have to go to vote out for the House or the Senate. And if they stay home, ooh.
I do understand that Trump is now on the campaign trail. I believe he was in Iowa recently, and that campaigning for Republicans is now part of his schedule. I understand that there was recently a meeting with Susie Wiles, his chief of staff, and other members of the administration, and I'm sure maybe even the campaign, discussing messaging issues that the president seems to have.
For
So
everybody who does not understand what I'm about to say, I'm going to try to explain this as simple as possible. Donald Trump is the nightmare that no campaign manager wants. He will go out there and say things that would hurt the party, that would hurt the candidate. And you have to be careful. He campaigned for Herschel Walker, and he didn't come close. He campaigned for the other guy who was in the Supreme Court in Georgia, who didn't come close. He has endorsed some people that have lost. So he could be at the campaign trail. But at the end of the day, he's not going to be on the ballot. Right. And staying on message, ooh.
Yes, that's a tough one.
He might go out to work David Washington's campaign for a House of Representatives District 13 and not mention his name once.
Right.
He might be out there talking for David Washington for District 13 and say things that might hurt David Washington because David Washington, in order to win, is going to have to get the Hispanic and Black vote, which right now many of us consider that the Republicans have lost. Or, like somebody told me in the African American community, the strength of the African American community vote for Donald Trump has diminished. How true that is, I do not know, but I can tell you it has significantly diminished in the Hispanic community, especially when people are being stopped because of their accent. People are going to be being stopped because of their last name. People are going to be stopped because they're brown. People are going to be stopped because they don't fit the blue eyes or blonde hair expectation. They're not being stopped because they're African Americans, because for some strange reason that I never understood, ICE is so moronic that they think that every African American in this country is an American and doesn't understand the concept of one word, Caribbean. There's a lot of people here from Jamaica. There's a lot of people here from Bermudas. There's a lot of people here from Barbados. There's a Trinidad and Tobago, and I can keep going down the list. Okay, so when ICE is like, whoa, he's black, he's here legally. Well, maybe not. Right. He's white. He might be from Canada. Has been here for 20 years. Never really changed his papers. Is he legal? So the truth of the matter is that realistically, Hispanics, he has lost a lot. And the independents, he has lost. Look, the cost of living is in the rockets. Gasoline is like, one day is $2.79, next week is $3.29. So
that's crazy.
Gasoline is crazy. So you never know when to fill up. And Medicine in this country, the cost of healthcare is gone skyrocket. So realistically, I'm not sure what everybody's thinking about. And look, if he gets us in a war in Iran, it's over. American people do not want wars. Black,
Right.
white, Hispanics. If he gets us in a war, that's why he was smart enough. He removed Madero, left the other lady, said, "Hey, if you don't want to be removed, let's work out a deal."
Let's
But
work
at the end of
together.
the day, with all due respect to everybody, the government in Venezuela is still a communist government.
Sure. That's correct.
They're doing business with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the problem I have is that right now, all the countries of the world are depending on uh, China and not us, and not us, and that's not good. That's not good. But yeah,
Okay.
do I think there's going to be? Yes. Now the strange thing here is that I've been hearing rumbles, people, that not everybody is on board with the redistricting in the state of Florida.
Right.
Okay, and that includes the Speaker of the House. Why? Because the Republican Party in the state of Florida is split in three, not two, in three. Let me explain what I mean by that. The corrupt government of Ron DeSantis, which basically wants to put in their cone of Mr. Collins as governor, so they could continue running and making money off the government of the state of Florida. Then you have Donald Trump and Byron Thompson. Did I say Byron? Donald Thompson, who's that group of the MAGA. Then you have what I would call the true conservatives who are not doing what they're fighting DeSantis to the nail.
Okay.
We know that DeSantis wanted to do something with the property tax, and the Speaker of the House blocked. We know that when it came to opening the session this year, DeSantis didn't even shake the hand of the Speaker. So
Yeah.
it would have to start in the House and then go to the Senate, the redistricting. And I do not see the votes in the House to do what they want to do because there's a concern. There is a concern that if that happens, then the Democrats, if they ever get certain power in the state, can do the same. And then there will be no excuse. And this is the beautiful part. The next president is going to have it made. He has a corrupt House and he has a corrupt Senate, which he have allowed the president to do whatever he wants. So they're going to be afraid of the next person in the White House. And you have a Supreme Court who's become a rubber stamp for the president of the United States. So basically, whoever gets elected next term around is going to have a pretty easy job. So we would have to see how that works. But I keep hearing that it's like the real reason they don't want to do it is they don't want to go along with Ron DeSantis. And they have never really been a puppet of Donald Trump.
Okay.
So it's going to be an interesting thing here. But I think the only hope that Florida Democrats have in this state is the division between the Republicans. That three-part division is really going to affect them. And, it's, again, one of the bad parts is that Donald Trump's candidate is not DeSantis' candidate.
Right. Byron Donalds.
Byron Donalds.
Right. Jimmy, the Democrats' best offense is a very vocal and active President Donald Trump on the campaign trail. However, what if the Republicans get it all together? What is the message that Democrats will have that will be persuasive for those independents, those folks who are on the peripheral of both parties? What message do they have for them in November?
The two C's. 2C stand for Republicans are bullies and cruel. They treat people cruelly. They treat people poorly. They disrespect you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They don't care about anything. They're cruel. But most important, the second C. There's no more corrupt party than the Republican Party. Right now, are they out? Did they create a big, beautiful bill to help the community? No, they created a big, beautiful bill to help the rich and the powerful. Did they hold back as much as they could the Epstein files? Yes, because they were protecting the rich and the powerful. Just like Donald Trump told you, hey, you're going to hurt my friends. That's why he did not want to release it. So basically, you have this in a different way that you need. You need to use what they're doing and showing the people, look, they're corrupt, they are cruel. What they promise you, the prices are not any lower. What they promise you, gasoline is the same up and down game that has always been. What they promise you that the economy was going to be any better is not there either. So basically, showing what they have done wrong would be the best avenue. Look, even going back to a more stable economy is what the American people want to see. And last but not least, we are an embarrassment worldwide. Mexico is doing business now with China. Canada is now doing business with China. Brazil is doing now business with China. Europe is doing now business with China. Africa is doing business now with China. And not us. And by the way, you want to bring back factories? If we can't sell our products to Europe, to South and Central America, to Africa, what are we going to do with all those products that you want to make here that have we have not started to make? Look, the economy is bad and it's about to get worse. Just do that. Don't talk about Donald Trump. Other than say that he's corrupt and cruel, he's a bully, but everybody knows that. And basically, that's what you need to do. The Republicans have put it in a silver platter. Here, look. Bond Bundy sells her interest in a case for $1 million or $2 million, and she will resolve. Bad Bundy will not charge certain people with crimes and forgive people for others. As a matter of fact, I'll give you one. Donald Trump pardoned a child pedophile. Okay? Is that something that you're exactly proud of? Oh, well, he pardoned him for his involvement. Whatever. The truth of the matter is, if you're going to use a Mexican who was charged out of the millions of Mexicans here, you found one that committed a horrendous crime and you put it on Biden, hey, we could put that on Donald Trump. The problem is that this country is so divided that Donald Trump does have a point. He could shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue, and those MAGA people are going to go with him. As a matter of fact, the ones that surprise me the most are the religious people that support an atheist. Yeah. What church did Donald Trump go to? When has he ever said anything religious in any of his speeches? Does he act as a Christian? Do Christians people treat other people like shit? Are they bullies? Because I'll call Donald Trump a bully, and if anybody wants to prove me wrong, go for it. He is a bully. So, yeah, I think what they need, instead of trying to create this, what we do, just show them how bad the Republican Party is, how corrupt they are, how cruel they are, how they treat people like garbage, how they have not solved any problems. If anything, they made them worse. Take them in their word. And, the principle of debate, I don't know if you've ever been in a debate club or educated, is to take your words and kill you with your words.
Right. That's correct.
You want a campaign? Take what they've done, what they have said, what they have done, and
Correct.
use them against them. And that's what I keep saying. The best campaign manager that the Democrats have had is Donald J. Trump.
Right.
It's, you know,
It-
look, I'll give you an example. The other
okay.
day, how can people not believe that Donald Trump knew that what he was doing was promulgating the Obamas in a
Oh,
monkey body with their face on it? He saw that. He knew it. He had no problem with it. And as a matter of fact, when he asked, "Do you think you did something wrong?" No. Are you going to apologize? No.
yeah. I can truly believe he thought it was something funny and it was stupid. And please, someone take the guy's phone away from him. It's embarrassing.
Well, they're not going to take his phone away from him because they don't have it. Look, they they know they have 4 years to steal as much money as they can, and that's what they're doing. And I respect that. And they know they're not coming back,
Right.
and they don't. And the problem is that right now he's not going to pass any more legislation. Right now, the House has nothing really concrete that they're going to pass. Okay,
Oh,
and
executive orders.
yes, but at the same time, he's not going to get any legislation that he could enforce. So basically, right now, the American people have to take them at for what they said and for what they've done. And the debate 101 is, oh, you said this? Excuse
Mhm.
me? Did I hear you correctly? Did I did I see? Oh, so you agree with this? Look, I don't know. It's like, for example, when Gordon was being tried, he kept alluding to how much he admired and how much he agreed with Hitler, and then he was trying to pretend that he did not know about it.
Mhm.
And how did they kill him at the end? Well, knowing everything you know now about all these camps and that Hitler and others were killing Jews, would you have gone along with it if you knew it? And he had to say yes. He shot himself in the foot.
Mhm.
Look, right now, what you need to do is take what they are saying. They took away the vaccines. They have taken away things that the way that we eat. They're taking away scientific proof that the EPA. So now you're going to be smelling more fumes. Why? Because they were given money by the fossil industry to do so. You
Okay.
know, look, very simple. Ask this question. Donald Trump, you started a big company when you started an office that has zero money in it, and now supposedly it has billions. Where did this money come from? Create the doubt. And the doubt is that
Mhm.
he, why he's being deposited there to avoid prosecution. So I'm not concerned if the Democrats have the smarts to do anything. I think what's turning people off is what the Republicans are doing.
Right.
And they're going to go out and vote against it. Look, it's kind of interesting, but I think that I've been saying this for years. Best campaign manager the Democrats have is Donald J. Trump. They
Right.
they cannot pay that person. But yes, will they find a way to fuck up? Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
I agree with you, Jimmy, and they tend to underestimate Trump because he and his campaign, his team have made many missteps during the campaign season, and however, for some reason, he still resonates with voters, and his campaign is able to reach out to those voters, those lower propensity voters, and get them to come to the polls. Like you said earlier, a lot of the Democratic voters who may have or would have voted for Kamala Harris decided to sit it out. Um, Democrats, I think, when pushed into a corner, they have no response to the immigration issue. They have no response to the economy. They have no response to and this was seen by AOC when she was in Munich discussing foreign policy. She was out of her element.
She
And
was.
this same person is being considered as a legitimate um, presidential candidate for the Democrats. For the Democrats, I fear they really have no answers to what this administration has already pushed forward.
They have an answer. I think the problem with Democrats is not that they don't have an answer. The problem with the Democrats is that they have allowed the
Mm,
other side to call it out. Do they
hmm
have an answer for immigration? Yes, they had it. And basically, what happened? Donald J. Trump said, screw that. That's a good campaign issue for us. Don't do it. They had an
Right.
answer, but they couldn't get it through because Donald Trump stopped it. Look, what I agree with you. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Look,
Okay.
uh, they say that liberals and Democrats are at fault for our immigration problem. Bullshit. Republicans are. What? You don't want to fix it.
Hmm
You have broken it. You maintain it broken so you can make it an issue in a campaign. Let me clarify. Let me prove you.
hmm
Mike Johnson and the Republicans have not done any legislation that effectively will solve the problem of immigration. They have not. Zero. Nada. Senate has passed nothing to fix the immigration thing. That they've closed down the borders at the South. Yes. But that does not solve our immigration problem. Okay? That alone does not solve our immigration problem. Keeping the people who speak Spanish out of this country doesn't solve. Whoa, whoa. Yes. Why? Because through Canada, there is no blockade. And by the way, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish who go up to Canada and then come through Canada. It's easier for them. There's people from Europe. There's people from the Middle East. There's people right now, with all due respect, we're talking about Minnesota, a lot of people from Simonia. Well, those people came in here with permits, okay? You might not like them, but they came in here with permits. We need to fix this immigration issue. But the Republicans are a bunch of hypocrites and a bunch of liars who basically say, hey, if we close the border, that solves our problem. No, it does not. And for the record, bullshit. Bullshit. The coyotes are still passing people through the southern border. Less numbers, I would agree.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But they're still coming through. But is all our illegal immigration coming through Mexico? No.
No.
Okay. And right now, we're about to send back the people to Venezuela because it's no longer on our list of subversive countries.
Okay. Yes.
So, look, people are coming from different areas, okay? And they're entering into this country. And for the record, we do need some degree, but they have not passed any significant laws. If anything, let me say proof of how corrupt they are. What do you think the gold card is? And I'm not talking American Express.
Yeah.
And I'm talking that came out of the mouth
What
of
is it? $1 million, $5 million to have your citizenship.
So basically, the rich could come in.
Hmm
Oh, wait a minute, we forgot another group. They brought in all the white people from South Africa because they were being discriminated. Bullshit. The Republicans have not fixed the immigration problem. They have not at all. What they've done is they stopped the amount of people who are coming here and saying, I'm asking for refugees, and they would allow them. Those people are not doing it anymore. Okay. Are there still people coming in illegally? Yeah. On the same amount? No. But to say that it's completely closed is bullshit. Okay. But why don't you fix it? You have the House, you have the Senate, you have the president. Let's create some legislation that will fix our immigration problem. No. It's a good issue to run on. Okay,
Well,
the economy, the government doesn't control the economy. That's bullshit.
mhm.
Okay, it's business. Or what Humphrey used to say, what makes this country great is business. It is not the government. The government charges taxes. The government does roads. The government does other services. But who opens factories is business. Government doesn't open business. Oh, we could change it to make it friendlier. No. Our problem is not that it's not friendlier. Our problem is that we cannot compete. Mexico can produce a product 10 times cheaper than here. Why? They don't have any labor laws. They don't have any health. They don't have to provide them with health insurance. They don't have to provide them with workers' compensation insurance. They don't have to provide them with any. And this hourly salary is a third of what they get paid here in this country. So let's stop pretending that it's the government's fault. No, it is that you're a businessman. I can produce it for 20 cents in Mexico. Why would I produce it in the United States for $4? Makes no sense. And by the way, that's our fault. We like things that are cheaper. We
True.
if you walk into there and there's 10 pair of pants, one is $200 and one is $28, you might buy the $28 pair of pants. I'm sorry. If you go into Walmart and see all the jeans, 90% of those jeans are produced outside of the United States, and people are buying them. Okay, so I'm sorry. The campaign should be stop lying, you hypocrites. You could have fixed immigration and you let it go down the tube just so you could win an election. Stop lying that the economy is the fault of the Democrats. It's your fault because corruptly you will sell the interest of this country for a couple of $1 million that people will buy you in bitcoins. Stop talking about in other words, stop being pussies.
Mhm.
Grow a pair of balls and call them assholes, fuckers, and do it. Because right now, I'm going to say this. The politics of the United States have changed. You have a president who talks dirty and is filthy. You have podcasters who talk dirty. You have an attorney general who's a bitch. And I'll call her that.
Oh, wow.
Okay? And people, well, Democrats, if that's the new norm, let's adopt. Okay? If she could call, and by the way, I think she called a couple of people certain select words where she was being interviewed in the House. Okay?
Yeah.
So, okay? And those are U.S. congressmen. So if I call the Attorney General a bitch, that's fine. And by the way, Dan, I know you have never really practiced law, but there's a principle they taught us in law school that the truth is an absolute defense. So if you really want to challenge me as to calling you a bitch, I'll prove it. Let's go in and I'll prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So with that, let's go into some good news that have come up.
Yes.
Orlando and Orange County leads the state of Florida, the whole state, in the reduction of crime.
That's correct. That's correct.
And talking about reduction of crime, I would have one question to my Attorney General. Sir, what the fuck knowledge do you have that you are getting paid $100,000, $100,000 to teach a 4-month course 2 days a week for 1 hour in the University of Florida's law school? There's no professor that makes that money for one course. And you are not that smart. As a matter of fact, you were as an attorney. So I'm not sure what qualifications you have. That you're Attorney General, you were appointed to that. People did not elect you there, and I'm not sure if they would elect you a second time, especially if Donald Trump endorses somebody else as a Republican against you. But I would like to, since we're talking about things about crimes, it's not a crime to get overpaid, and I would agree with that. But it sounds a little corrupt to me. So don't ever come and judge Orange County and Orlando for a crime because
Yeah.
you do not have the numbers to justify it.
And to take it further, Jimmy, in regards to these numbers, according to Spectrum News 13, Orlando achieved a significant 22% reduction in overall crime over the 3 year period ending in 2025, driven by proactive policing, community engagement, and targeted enforcement, including a 68% drop in homicides. Homicides fell to their lowest since 1971 in 2025, with major decreases in shootings, 41%, burglary, 42%, and vehicle theft, 47%.
And that's considering that this is a tourist city, that millions and millions and millions of people come through our airport every day and go to Disney and other areas, and still our numbers are low. Look, Orange. I'm proud to be an Orange County resident. I've always
Mhm.
have been, always will be. And I would say this to everybody: stop picking on us. We know how to do the job, and we do it well. So, with that in mind, um, I, it's kind of interesting. The city where DeSantis lives, where our Attorney General lives, where Mr. Collins lives, has more crime but less people than Orlando, and it's called
Mm.
Tallahassee. And that does not include the corrupt crimes that Ron DeSantis and our Attorney General, Mr. Collins, and others commit up there. So, hey, I can say this: those numbers make me proud to be a resident of Orange
Mm.
County and of the hours that I give to this community in public service, such as appointing people to advisory boards, such as the redistricting, and so on and so on. So, to this point, I would have to say to everybody in the Orange County Sheriff's Department and and the Orlando Police Department, congratulations, job well done.
Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Those type of numbers, again, I mean, incredible. And I know with the targeting policing and partnerships like the Peace Orlando have been central to a lot of these improvements. You got to tip your hat to the Orlando PD. A job well done. And I think we've had during that period, Jimmy. I think it was Chief Roland Orlando or Chief Orlando.
Yes, he was part of it. That's correct.
Yeah, yeah. So tip our hats to Orlando, and like you said, the Orlando being the vacation center, the family vacation center of the universe, that does matter. It matters a lot, and if only now that we can get a law that will uh, outlaw those really noisy cars with their mufflers or whatever they call them. Those things drive me crazy. Oh,
Hey,
Jimmy,
what can I say?
right? So, Jimmy, as we wind down this episode, I think this is a good time to get to. Well, first of all, before we get to our next segment, I just want to encourage our listening and public, our viewing public, to please, like, share, and hit the notification button. But more importantly, your comments. We love to hear what you have to say, and we want to comment. We will comment, and we will comment publicly on air during the show. And again, we will love to have that interaction, whether it's on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We'll love to have that conversation. So please comment. We'll love that interaction. And so, speaking of interaction, Jimmy, who are your fuck up of the week?
Let me start with the Democrats. Basically, the Democrats Their fuck up of the week is simply put down. You still have not put together a cohesive plan for the election. You're still counting on that Donald J. Trump, your campaign manager, is going to take you to the promised land. Look, I said it a few minutes ago, and I'm going to say it again. Democrats grow a pair of balls because really now you should start blaming the Republicans for the killings in Minnesota, for the Gestapo-style enforcement of ICE. You should be also telling the people in this country and issuing that Donald Trump is lying to you when he says that affordability is over, that everything is affordable. The man that doesn't go out to shopping, he's never know how to shop. So just bring that up. If you ask him how much a gallon of milk costs, he doesn't even have a idea. You ask him how much a gallon of gasoline costs, he says $1.99, and there's no place in this country. Whereas you need to take the offensive and take it hard and take it down and take down the Republican Party and show them for who they are, a cruel, bully, corrupt party. And learn from Pam Bundy to be pushy. Learn with Pam Bundy to be a bully, and learn with Pam Bundy that you don't have to answer the questions. Just say what the truth is. Not like Pam Bundy, who's a liar. That's your fuck up. Now let's go to the Republicans.
Okay.
That one is a little bit more complex this week. Look, the truth of the matter is that basically there has been something that has happened that we do not, it's not been that hardly mentioned, but it is the fact that right now, the Republicans to this date do not have an answer to your health insurance. Your health insurance gone up. They have all these things that they say they're going to bring up, and they have not answered. And when Mike Johnson was asked, I think it was Tuesday, he said that they have a plan in effect and they will be presenting it. And somebody said, but you've been saying that for the last 6 months, and he just shut up. Republicans, you need to come up with a health plan. You don't have one because you don't believe in one. You don't care about the American public, and it has shown loud and clear. But most important, you want to talk about how cruel you could get in 1 week, making fun of the Winter Olympics? Really? Well, that was Donald Trump. It was not the party, but he's a spokesperson for the party. So I'll put that on you. That is your fuck up of the week. But most important, please subscribe. That's what keeps us going. If you don't want to subscribe, dislike. Give me a comment. I won't promise that I will answer, even if you call me a jerk, which I've been called out many times before. It takes one to know one. So it's let me know what you would like. Also, give me suggestions of what you think you would like me to talk about. But this is the most important thing. Let's stop fighting among ourselves. This is a great country with great people, with great citizens, and with a great future if we work together. A divided house goes nowhere. And we all have to agree on one thing. This house is divided. Please listen to each other. And even if you disagree with respect. Until next week, I will see you all together. And take care.
We'll see you on Tuesday, Jimmy, for that State of the Union address. It will be on our new show, The King Exchange. So I encourage all of the From the Margins with Jimmy Auffant show listeners and viewers to tune in Tuesday, the 24th of February, approximately 8:30 Eastern Time, our live reaction to President Donald J. Trump's State of
Or
the
on the
Union.
worst, when he shuts up. Because you can talk for an hour, easy, with no problems, and be completely incorrect. But I'll be making notes of everything. I'll see you next Tuesday. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy your weekend, Jimmy.
You too.
Bye now.
Bye.